All right, guys. So that hour went, too fast. We have so much, to talk with Larry Montanez tonight with P&L Consultant. I will highly recommend also to join the C20 group in Collision Hub. I personally did it probably a week ago, and it literally changed, again, the perspective and the way that I see the business. Those guys been great. Kristen as well. If you are there, thank you. And let me just bring Larry back to here. So let me cut you.
Hey, well, there we are.
All right. Do you remember the question?
Okay, you were bringing up about wow, a lot of questions tonight. I gotta remember this one now. Let me see. I'm usually good at this. Uh,
Come
wow,
on,
all
Larry.
right.
You can.
Um,
If you
let's.
think
Oh,
that.
do I see where the business is going? Do I see the numbers shifting around? All right, now I'm back on track. Okay. Um, no, there's approximately 39,000 shops, give or take a few hundred, and that's legal licensed shops in the United States, and there's about 100,000 shops total. That doesn't include backyard mechanic shops and stuff like that. This is mechanic shops, wheel alignment shops, anything else that doesn't list as technically as a body shop, but has body shop work and does it and not fully legal and how it goes. The numbers need to drop, but as the numbers drop, you're going to have the same percentages of numbers. The 1% are always going to be there. Then you're going to have your 5%. You're going to have everybody else. Until I mean, look, you had the Sheebans case where the roof was not only was it glued on, bolts weren't put back in on the roof, and it was the worst case scenario because they ran into a vehicle that was 2.5 times its weight on wet pavement. The truck was it broadsided the truck, like in a T-bone fashion. So um, a lot of the structural components were missed, and it hit soft the secondary structural components, and it just became an entire issue of things that have occurred and gone on with that case. And unfortunately, guys got burnt and stuff, but they were able to go back to a body shop that did it improperly, and they got nailed for it. And that wasn't enough to scare the industry. Wasn't enough to scare the industry because it's not going to happen enough. We need um, maybe 100, 150 of those to happen, unfortunately. And there's a lot of cases out there where people are injured. I mean, we deal with it in the accident reconstruction field where we have vehicles we know, but it's just half the time the lawyer doesn't want to be bothered going after them. They got a big insurance company. If you have a major trucking company impacts a vehicle and the people got injured or died, and they're not smart enough to hire a real collision expert, which is not many in the country. I mean, what Jeff and I do at Line Technical Services is very unique and very different what any other accident reconstruction company does. And there is no one in the accident reconstruction field, and this I know for a fact from working in it so long, that does what I do. I'm the guy. I'm the guy that a lot of people go to. I mean, look, Mike Anderson is giving away cases to me because Mike's not a technical expert in that field. Mike's a process guy. Now, Mike and I have worked on numerous cases together, and Mike's brought me in for that technical aspect. And I have an engineer that I work with, so it helps out. But the issue comes down to it is even if we can show the car was repaired at a DRP, non-DRP, whatever the case is, and it was improperly repaired, there's usually not enough money to go after the shop to make the case worth it for the lawyer. I got a big fly-by-night bullshit body shop that has $1 million in coverage. What am I going with that? I don't want to, the lawyer's going, I don't want to own a body shop. My clients don't want to own a body shop because I'm going to put you out of business. So what am I going to do? You know what I mean? It's not worth it. That's why you don't see enough of these cases that will come to fruition. In this case, what worked out for, if this was fixed at some small DRP, the She-Band's car, or some mom and pop body shop, that case would have never been found out about. And those poor people would have been screwed. This happened because it was at a major, huge dealership in Texas. That's why. Hundreds of millions of dollars of insurance coverage, hundreds of millions of dollars in value the shop had. So they were able to get away with it. And they didn't get $42 million. That was the decision. And it's disclosed, but it came out in an article that said they settled out of court, which is basically, okay, we're not, the plaintiff, knows that the defendant is going to go, and try and appeal it. And they'll stay in appeals for years. So the plaintiff decided to cut their losses and say, I'll take this much money, so that we don't have to go through, appeals and spend more money and more time and stuff like that. Let's do the right thing. And that was a smart thing to do, And I don't blame the dealership for fighting it. They had to fight that case. It's too much money. You had to fight it, and that's the unfortunate thing. But there's not enough of those cases coming down the pipe to really surprise these body shops into waking up and going over it. Everything comes down to, I got a family to feed, I got mouths to feed, there's not enough time, there's this, there's that, and it's funny, I have people, there's people in here now that probably have visited Mid-Island Collision or Exclusive Collision and see how these techs work and see how things go on and look at it and go, wow, that must be fantastic. What, to run your business the way you see fit? To work on a vehicle and not worry about what happens next? Or wait for the approval? No, we got the approval already from the consumer. The vehicle owner approved it. I don't have to wait for the insurance company. A little bit different of a business model when you can run your business the way you want, not when someone else wants to tell you what to do. And that's what a lot of shops have gotten into. They believe the narrative that's been lied to them for years about insurance companies and approvals, and even the insurance company paperwork is what you call in a court of law defective. It's got lies on it. No supplements will be approved without blah 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 blah. That has nothing to do with me. That's for the consumer. That estimate that you get from that insurance company is what they give to the consumer. That's useless to you. I just need to know the last page, the very, very last number after the deductible, what you're willing to reimburse the customer. But why is that? So I can go back and tell the consumer that I'm charging $5,000. Your insurance company wants to reimburse you $3,500. We're short $1,500. I don't care where it comes from, but someone's got to get it. So get on the phone and break your insurance company's chops. That's not my job. I'm here to fix cars. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a negotiator. This is it is what it is. I showed you what has to be done. This is what has to be done. You agreed to my labor rate. You agreed to this. This is what has to go on. Well, maybe we could put aftermarket parts in it. Good. Come pick up your car and get it out of here now. As is, come pick it up and pay me.
I was going to ask you about that particular situation when the consumer, choose to, for whatever reason, don't want to go through all that trouble, don't want to bother, calling, because technically, and the bottom line is, like, basically they're not caring about the safety of the vehicle, basically, right? If they choose to go that route.
It depends, the quality or the safety. It depends. Some components aren't technically a safety component. Versus something that might be just a panel to keep stuff inside the car and water out of the car and the elements and stuff like that. So it depends on what component we're talking about. A car without ADAS systems in the bumper assembly, no Parktronics, not covering any lane departure stuff or radar, it's a bumper fascia. Well, now you got quality of fit and finish. Okay? And I used to say years ago, no one dies from a bumper cover or from paint. And that's changed now because of the ADAS systems. Just like I mentioned earlier about the Dodge Durango that had an issue because they put an aftermarket bumper cover. It's not the paint that's the problem. The bumper cover is just too thick. So we're going to sit there like a monkey and try and shave it down enough to, get the sensor to work the right way. So, yeah, the manufacturer says no to these parts. And for a shop to say I was forced to use them, forced by who?
Mm-hmm.
It's not you. It's not the consumer. Because the consumer says, well, I want to put aftermarket parts in my car. Good, come pick up your car, get it out of the shop. Well, the insurance company forced me. Okay, but you still made the decision. If the part goes on the car, you made that decision. You yourself, you solely made that decision on your own to do that. You want to be mad at somebody, go in the bathroom and yell at yourself in the mirror. You're the problem. Most of the problems in a collision repair shop with anything to do with the insurance company or the consumer is the guy who sits in the big chair and signs all the checks. It's usually, or the girl, that's the problem. You don't have the balls, the guts, the knowledge, the ability to run your business the way it's supposed to be. Most people, most people are social misfits. They don't like to be in crowds. They don't like talking to people. One of the scariest things they say is to get up in front of a group of people and just talk. They don't want to talk to people. They don't want to interact. I mean, it's so bad that years ago, and this is how this one particular insurance company started a program when they started bidding on the DRP program. And they'd have these centers that people would bring their cars, and then all you idiots would show up there and bid on each other like you're doing construction jobs. And for those who don't know, construction jobs are all set up. That's all BS. It's all set up. The bidding goes on. It's already rigged. It's already rigged up. You get it this time. I get it next time. This guy gets it that time. And we all bid on it, but it's all BS. Now you're going down there, you're bidding on these jobs, and you got to drive it back there in a certain amount of time. Otherwise, you get nailed for the rental or stuff like that. And, the big thing was, this company went with their DLP program, and my partner, Pete Pratty, was the claims manager who started the stupid thing, okay, when he was with that company. Because my partner, Pete, used to be the national claims manager for them years ago, 15 years ago. And he was part of that whole thing and started this program. And he said, shops would cry and complain, I don't want to deal with the customer. Can't you just drop the car off and let me fix it and take it back and pay me? Well, now you took yourself out of it. And that's the worst thing you could possibly do, is do that, because now you've pulled yourself out of the ability to touch that customer. Just like shops who are on DRPs and want to get off of them. Okay, well, how many customers do you have that are repeats? Well, it depends on where the insurance company sends them. Well, are you trying to contact the customer, trying to talk to the customer, or trying to speak to the customer? Are you sending out gift cards? Are you sending out birthday cards, anniversary cards? Are you getting this information? What's your CSR doing? Your CSR should be getting birthdays, anniversaries, anything they could possibly get. And outright ask for it. You married? Yeah. Well, what's your anniversary? Oh, why would you need to know that? Well, we send out a 10% discount for a car wash on your anniversary. Oh, wow, cool, okay. Okay, Larry, you just received something in the mail. What's this? Oh, well, Land O'Lakes sent you a gift certificate for, free car wash. It's your anniversary of having your car repaired. Oh, wow, that's great. Holy shit, wow. Why are they remembering something stupid like that? Oh, it's your birthday card. Land O'Lakes sent you another birthday card. It's a free car wash. Oh, wow, that's cool. Or 20% off at this restaurant, or whatever the case is. You want to keep that's the problem why people get on a DRP program. They don't know how to market themselves. They don't know how to sell themselves, and they don't want to pay somebody to market them or sell them. So what do? They're like, feed me work. Which is basically right. And I'll call them prostitutes and whores and stuff like that on Facebook and joke around, working for a pimp. But technically, I'm wrong. I'm wrong on that. Not because it's not nice. No, that's not the reason. I could care less. I was always told, if you have nothing nice to say it real mean and nasty so that it hurts really bad. So I'm wrong about that, because really it's more like a crackhead. They're the drug dealer. You're the crackhead, and you got to taste the crack, and it's like, oh, wait a second. I get a car, I do a repair, I got to do it a little bit cheaper, I got to do this for free and that for free, but I get this car. Well, if I do a lot more cars, I'll get that much more money in. And what happens is you wind up that you're busy but broke. And all these DRPs go through it. The second you get slow, bills pile up, and you're like, holy shit, how do I pay these bills? What the hell happened? And you see it now with the big MSOs and these massive, 20, 30 shop, single owner locations are dying of business right now, because they were so busy. You were so busy, you didn't realize how broke you were. And that's the problem. And then I have my clients that, all right, so we lost some cars. Okay, now we, instead of getting 30 cars this week, we got 12 cars. All right. We'll just write a little bit more on the estimate. Who cares? We'll raise the labor rate. We'll find a way to, we'll work it out. It's not that big of a deal. And what they've been doing is they've been, doing their maintenance, cleaning, new lights, painting, changing wall colors, freshening up the place, because they have the time. The other shops I know, like, I see guys, the flat rate techs crack me up. They're all like, well, they have to pay us minimum wage to sit in the shop and do nothing. That's great. Good going there. Now you're sitting in a shop doing nothing because now there's no work at all. And this is the craziness goes on. That's the problem with this business. No one's ever taught anyone the proper way how to run this business to do it. You know, and the only other business I could, unless I know we have a lot of common stuff because of insurance company crap with doctors and, stuff like that. And yes, the patient is the car, and doctors work on a turbocharger and a non-turbocharger model. That's really it. Doesn't matter what year it is. It's basically the same parts, except for one's got a turbocharger, one doesn't. And they basically read out of the same manual, okay? And and they see a lot of the same type of symptoms that go on. But as a tech at a shop that works on multiple different models, you see a lot of different things, a lot of different issues, and you got to be sometimes smarter than the tech who works at the Mercedes-Benz dealer just works on Mercedes-Benz. Because that tech may not have a clue on how to actually work on a BMW. When you got to learn how to work on BMW, Audi, Porsche, Cadillac, Chevy, Toyota, Honda, you got to learn all these different models, all the different bumper covers, how they come off. Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Porsche, all the bumpers come off exactly the same way on all the friggin' models. They all do the same thing. Same tools, same process to get it off. It might be a couple extra clips, but basically it's the same clip, so it's real easy once you learn the process. But what I would equate the body shop business in a way to a bar or restaurant business. Because, to open those up is tons of advertisement, pricing yourself in the right area, the right people, location in that case with that. How you actually interact with your customers that come into the place. And one of the biggest things is making it past the first 6 months and then making it past the next year and a half. Because they mostly fail in 6 months or a year and a half, they fail. And you see it happen all the time. Wow, it looks like a good restaurant. We're going to have to go there. And you're like, well, we better go fast because how these restaurants close down all the time. And you're like, wow, the place was so good. Why did it close down? Well, a lot of times what happens is you get people that run the business real crappy. You've seen John Teffer on Bar Rescue go into some of these bars. You can see the attitude on the owners. You know why it's doing bad. Look at the mirror. You suck. You're horrible. Forget about who's ever robbing you of some of your tips and your money. Look at your staff. I mean, Randy Buffetto, who works for Summit, he used to work for Metropolitan Carolina years and years ago when Metropolitan Carolina actually brought Carolina into this country. Dave Demarest Sr. is the guy who actually brought Carolina and ProSpot into this country back in the 80s. And, he's he's the oldest Carolina sales company, distributor around. And Randy Buffetto used to work for him. Randy left the company, wound up working for Toyota and set up Toyota's training program in the United States. Later got Jim Meyer involved, who's also one of the trainers and stuff. And then he went to AutoNation for a while, went back to Carolina Corporate, and now he's with Summit. And Randy does a great consulting class on customer service. And Summit does all the training for like Benz and the dealership training for Benz and BMW, or their big clients. And he does the body shops that are on the certified program. So it's funny, I went to a couple of his classes, and most of the guys sit there scared like crazy. But it's funny, Brian at Mid-Island Collision, because I went with him. I went for exclusive, and Brian from Mid-Island Collision came with us. And he says, I'm going to play a couple of the phone calls of me calling into shops. So it's like you call up, and it's like, hello, body shop. Yeah, my car's there. My name's Perfetto. It's a 2015, I think, at the time. Audi A6. Yeah, hang on. And we're waiting. Dead silence. No on hold music. No, hey, welcome to Larry's Auto Body Shop, the most exclusive shop on the East Coast. Blah 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 blah. None of that BS. And then yeah, no, we ain't got your car here. Click and then hang up the phone. And they're like, that's not really great customer service. And Brian's back there raising his hand, going, that'd be my guys. That's my crew. And then you get the, and then funny enough, I was on one of them, and it's like, the phone rings. Hello, good afternoon, Exclusive Auto Collision. Larry speaking. How can I help you today? Yeah, is Larry there? Randy, this is Larry. What part of Larry did you? And it was, he left it in because it was a joke because I knew Randy's voice. So it was funny, but he said, see how Larry answered the phone? We all think Larry's rough and gruff and curses and screams and everything like that, but he answers the phone like a professional. I don't see that in a lot of the shops. When Kristen and I go and we do this, and And listen, it's expensive. I'm not going to talk about the money. Grab Kristen on the side and ask her. But we do a consulting where we come in for 2-3 days to a shop. And we'll do some phone interviews first to make sure this is right for you. Because sometimes we'll do video consulting before we actually come into the shop. And you get like a 40-page report when we're done on what happens. In your shop, what we see. But part of the time is when I'm walking around the collision repair area and looking at some of the cars and going over estimates, Kristen's sitting in the office on her cell phone. And sometimes the owner gets a little pissed off. And it's like a lot of times we have to tell the owner up front of the business, like, listen, don't talk to us. You want to go out to dinner? You want to go out to a short lunch? That's fine. We're here because you're paying us a lot of money to do a job for you. After 5 o'clock, you want to go to dinner someplace and drink and hang out? We'll do it. But we're not here to be your friend. We have a different price for that. Okay? It's a little bit cheaper than this, but we'll sit in the office and we'll BS all day long and tell us all the stories in the world. We're here to work for you. And then he gets like a little annoyed, and he'll come over to me and he'll go, oh, what the, she's been sitting there for the last 2 hours on her phone. Yeah, she's running a report. No, she's not. I said, yeah, she's on her phone, pretending she's on her phone. She's watching your CSRs and your customers and your estimators interact with your customers, and you're probably not going to be happy with the report. Oh, that's impossible. And sure enough, she'll get videotape, she'll get audio tape, she'll get notes on stuff, she'll get information that the guy didn't realize, and then we'll go back and sometimes watch the videotape from the inside the building, security tape, and he's like, oh wow, oh I can't believe that. And it's always the saddest thing. I don't find it at dealerships. I find it at independently owned shops. I'll always wind up going into the office and going up to the boss and going, hey, Mike, let me ask you a question. Yeah, what's up, Larry? No, I don't go to Mike the owner yet. I'll go to like the shop manager who's been there for years. I say, hey, Joe, let me ask you a question. Who's the guy in the blue shirt? Oh, Jesus. That's the owner's son. He's an alcoholic drug addict. He's been in rehab a few times. What is he doing here? Oh, he just wrecks everything in the shop. He hits cars constantly. He tries to pick up every girl in the office. He keeps harassing the 2 pretty girls over there that are CSRs. Oh, I just can't believe it. Then I'll go to like the parts guy. Hey, who's the guy in the blue? Oh, Jesus, that's Mike, the Mike Jr., Mike's son. Oh, God, you can't believe what he does. He steals stuff. He takes this. Okay. And then I'll go to the tow driver. Hey, who's the guy in the blue shirt? And he'll give me the same, he steals my tow truck. He moves it all the time. He thinks it's funny. He put the tow truck through 4 cars one time. I'll go into the office. And this is exactly what I say to the owner. Hey, Mike, let me ask you a question. What's up? The guy in the blue shirt down. Oh, Jesus, don't stop me on that. That's my son. Drug addict, alcoholic. I don't know what to do with him anymore. Listen, I'm gonna save you a lot of money. This is free advice. Pay him to stay home. What? He'll cost you less money if you pay him to stay home. Or buy him a hot dog stand and put him on a street corner someplace. But you can't have him here. He's sexually harassing your workers. He's sexually harassing every customer that comes in here. He's wrecked 7 or 8 cars. Oh, yeah, he just wrecked one yesterday. You're telling me what the problem is, and you're not taking care of it. What is wrong with you? And this is what goes on. And we're there to, this is the obvious stuff. Forget about the stuff like we find that you don't even realize, And it becomes crazy. So we write up this whole big, we come in, we do this report, we sit there and we go through this stuff, and they're shocked. The ego and the pride comes in, shocked, annoyed, pissed off. And it always says at the bottom, please review this with your staff as you see fit, and please tell us what you would like to work on first so we're better adapted, telling you a plan to fix this. And then we also have, from every tech, we ask 5 questions, and it's basically roundabout in a way, and we're not giving away the questions and stuff, but basically it's like, if you were in charge, what would you do differently here? If you had the money, if money didn't matter, what would you purchase in this shop? If money didn't matter, who would you hire, or what would you change in the place if money didn't matter? And we ask and we tell them, don't put names on there. Fold it up, put it in a box, give it back to us. We want to see what everyone says. We tell the owner to do the same thing. If money wasn't an object, if you had no other price, you just wanted to do whatever the hell you felt like doing, what would you do? And you'd be shocked sometimes what comes up. And one of the biggest questions we ask many of the people in the shop, we ask everybody. Let me ask you, especially the owner, the manager. Let me ask you a question. If you lost your job tomorrow, you lost your business, and you had to go work for your competitor, would your competitor hire you to do the same thing you're doing for your shop? No, I don't think so. Then why would you do it for yourself?
Correct.
And most guys don't realize it and how hard that hits home, that they don't realize, hey, wait a second, you know what? I see your point with that. That's, wow. That's powerful if you really think about it. If your own competitor was willing to hire you, but wouldn't hire you to do the same job you do for yourself, why would you do it for yourself then? You're only hurting yourself. And many guys don't understand that. That's free advice there. Any shop owner that's out there, anybody that's out there, I'm telling you right now, ask yourself that question. If you had a competitor that, you know, was still in business and you lost your shop and you had to go work for him, would he pay you to be the estimator? Would he pay you to be the manager, the foreman, or whatever the case is? Would he put you in that position? If he wouldn't, then why would you do it for yourself? You're only hurting yourself, and a lot of people don't realize that, how much they hurt themselves because they don't pay attention. And once again, it's that busy but broke thing. They're just too busy. I mean, when I've worked at shops or covering a shop, for, let's say, a manager that's out there, and I'll come in for a week to cover a shop. I'll do the training. I'll be there. And, the boss comes in at, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and there I am sitting on the desk. I got Pornhub on one of his computers or something, doing research material. And I'm sitting there doing nothing, or I'm on Facebook, and they're like, what are you doing? Nothing. Why? Well, it's only 2 o'clock. Yeah, I'm done for the day, unless something new comes in. And right around 4:30, I go downstairs and make sure the cars are parked in the right area to, for the morning to start up.
Hmm.
Well, what are you talking about? Okay, let's play the game. Go look at any RO and ask me what's going on. I'll tell you exactly what it is. And look out the window, look on your camera and see what a car is. And sure enough, they'll test me on 12, 15 cars. I know where everything's at. And then they're shocked the next morning. I do this morning walkthrough. And I question everybody in the shop at a morning meeting, which they never have. Where's this car? What's that car? What's going on with this? I'm not sure about that car. What do you mean? You're the manager or you're the foreman and you're not sure about that car? That car's over here in this section over here. This has this and this on it. What's going on with this car over here in the spray booth? I think I got to paint. No, you already painted it. So how long before you get it out of the spray booth? I know all the answers. I'm not asking you a question I don't know the answer to already. When I come in to consult for somebody, I already have the answer. I just want to hear what law you're going to tell me. That's all I'm asking you a question for, is I want to hear what law you're going to tell me. And a lot of times I'll videotape this stuff to show the owner. It's like, okay, your staff doesn't know what the hell's going on inside the shop for their own friggin' jobs. And then at break time in the morning, I'll go around to each one of the techs the last few minutes of the break time and go, hey, how much longer do you think with this car? 2 o'clock, I should be done with it. Okay, terrific. Okay, so that's 4 o'clock. So he's done. He's going to be done at the end of the day with that car. He gets done early, it's fine. Just like I see techs walk around the shop. They don't know what to do next. They got to wait for the owner or the manager to get off the phone and say, why don't you have a board with the name and the 7 or 8 cars that he's got to do? I don't understand that. I don't get the concept. So you're going to have a guy standing in your shop, waiting for you to get off the phone that you're probably BSing with one of your friends. Okay, or you're playing on Facebook, and he's sitting there jiggling change in his pocket like he's waiting for the city bus to come by and pick him up. And he's just standing around doing nothing. He's fresh air inspecting. And you're wondering why you're losing money hand over fist. You're not efficient. And listen, I'm not. Listen, I'm the guy that'll come into a shop and give you another day to do a repair. I don't need it done that fast. I don't care when the car gets done. But when it's done, I don't want it back. Unless there's something wrong with it from another accident. Okay, so you need an extra day. I'll get you the extra day. I'll go to the boss, the manager. I'll pay for the car the car rental out of my own pocket if I have to. I'll give you the extra day. But don't let me find out that there's a problem later on. Just like I tell the guys, don't come to me on a Friday or a Tuesday when a car's supposed to leave, because you don't let cars all go on Friday, or a Tuesday or a Wednesday in the afternoon, and you're putting a belt molding on and go, oh, this belt molding's bent. Okay, it's going to get bent more when I wrap it around your neck. You knew this when you took it off. Why wasn't it ordered? Where is this? Where was the meeting that this belt molding's on intergalactic back order and no one told anybody about it? So now I'm going to go kill the friggin' parts manager. Just like I have parts signed off on from the parts manager or the parts deliverer, in the shop parts deliverer, the guy who brings it from the parts manager, the parts area to the tech, and the tech's got to sign off, I received 10 parts. Well, that's it. That's all his job was, to deliver 10 parts. You got 10 parts. If you have 9 at the end of the job, it's your fault you lost one of those parts. If they're damaged, it's also your fault because you're supposed to check your parts and then mirror match them to make sure they're right prior to working on the car, doing whatever you're doing once the parts get there. And you never work on a car until all the parts are there anyway. I mean, I don't need an emblem or a body side molding to do, to put on two doors and a fender or a quarter panel. I don't need that. But I want to make sure that somebody knows about it. So in the morning meeting, job 2264, the Toyota Camry, and the parts manager goes, yeah, we got the body side moldings on back order. All right, well, today's Tuesday. That car is going to be done Thursday out of the spray booth. Friday it'll be at the dealer. That molding, I need to know when it's coming in. That car's probably leaving on Monday or Tuesday when it gets back from the dealer. So I'm in control of everything in the shop. I know what's everything's going, because I don't want to work. I want to sit around and do nothing, screw around on Facebook, okay? Or play around on Instagram and look at chicks all day. That's what I want to do. I want to do nothing. I ride my motorcycle. So the only way for me to do that is to get my job done as efficiently as possible. So by memorizing and knowing all the cars and making sure, and I give everyone enough rope to hang themselves, you make sure your employees are doing their job and keeping to where they are, that's great. If the guy isn't good enough, hey, you're fired, or I'll move you to a different position. But you got to be able to tell me what's on. So I don't want to have to go, well, I got to make a call on this. I got to make a call on that. You're a parts manager. You should have already made these calls. We're in the afternoon, okay? We're in the afternoon. Just like your CSR shouldn't have to go, oh, hello, Mr. Montanez. Yeah, hang on a second. Let me get Mike for you. Mike, pick up line 2. Mike, line 2. 10 minutes go by. Or, 2 minutes go by. Then it's like, well, let me call his cell phone. The voicemail, Mike, it's Joanne in the office. You got this phone. Text back. I'm sorry, Mr. Montanez. He's not picking up his phone. He must be out of the area. I'll get him to call you back. Now, the next day I call back because Mike didn't call me because he's got 9,000 Post-it notes all around his computer of people to call. So I call back, and they do the same thing to me. Wouldn't it be so much easier if you just told the friggin' girl at 10 o'clock in the morning after the morning meeting, here's all the cars going out, or the customer shows up, oh, I don't know how to bring my deductible. Whose fault is that? That's your CSR's fault. Who's also your foreman's fault and your manager's fault, because the general manager in the morning meeting should have said, okay, these are the 10 cars that are leaving. I'm going to go tell the girls, these are the 10 cars that are leaving, not today, not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Call today, tell them that car is, scheduled to leave on Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Do you have your deductible? Do you have your last check? Do you have this? Do you have that? Blah, 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 blah. So now you don't have an issue with that. And send them a text reminder the day before. Now I got proof. I said, oh, I didn't get that. No, bullshit, you did get it. Okay, this whole thing of this customer's always right shit isn't always true. But sometimes the customer's right because you suck at your job. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You didn't greet the customer. You didn't update the customer. Look, my shops are running that I consult with, so I call my shops that I consult with are running 20, 25 day cycle times. But their customers are happy because they were told up front. Yeah, it's going to be about a month. What do you mean a month? The Germans are horrible. It's like they swim the parts over from Germany. They tell Hans and Franz to hand punch out a part. Then the guy walks it, from Stuttgart to England, and then he swims it over on his back all the way across the Atlantic. It takes like a week to get these parts, so that's already stuck there. They're going to call your stupid insurance company back 6 or 7 times, which if they're a repeat customer, they're like, oh yeah, they suck. I know that already. They don't already understand that. I'm not telling them 2 weeks. Oh, the car will be here in a week and a half. And then I got to make excuses, and I don't lie. I tell you up front, it's going to be a month. If I finish faster, I look like a champ. Why do we have to lie? Oh, that'll be by Friday. Then Friday comes. Oh, I'll call up the customer and tell them that parts didn't come in. Customer calls back. Well, I called the dealership. They said they sent the parts on Tuesday. So what do you mean?
So Larry, the 1%, I keep going there because that's what I want to be, and hearing all this, in the back of my head, that's really what I want to be. I think that's what the industry should be. So it's something that it happens overnight. It's something that it happened with these shops, like they started it like that, or they did make a switch at some point in their.
Oh, they switched. No one starts out that way. Derek Jeter didn't start out. And once again, Derek Jeter only did, good 1/3 of the time and was considered great. First ballot Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? He did great 1/3 of the time. You got to do great every time. And when you first start out, you're making the mistakes. A lot of these shops started the wrong way, did the wrong things. Look, back in the 80s, We clipped cars because the 80s cars you could clip. There was procedures from GM and Ford that showed you how to clip a car. A rolling clip was a popular thing to do. They allowed it because there was no crash management. They would I own a 1971 Cadillac. Oh, it's a tank. No, it's not. It's a big hunk of crap. It's a mild steel piece of crap. It weighs 5,100 pounds. You know what a new S-Class weighs? Almost 6,000 pounds. What's faster, my 71 Cadillac or a brand new S-Class? What gets better gas mileage, a 71 Cadillac or a brand new? I can sit at the gas station with my car idling, and the gas can't fill up fast enough to fill up the gas tank, okay? I get like 20, 30 feet per gallon, okay? So, and once again, I got a heavier car that's more fuel efficient, 10 times faster, and handles a lot better. Because, you get one of those old cars with the recirculating ball, parallelogram system with a steering box, and you're like this, try to turn the wheel, and you slowly go like this. And then if you go like that, you got to overcompensate to try and get it go back this way before you smash into a wall. Yet with a Mercedes-Benz, you go like this and you're in the next lane. Technology has come a very long way. Cars are not safe from the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. Cars are very, very safe nowadays. 30 years from now, cars nowadays won't be as safe as cars 30 years from now. But there are lots. I mean, these cars are so more far advanced than anything that we've ever seen before. Okay? As far as safety goes. I mean, the mid 80s and the 90s was a horrible time for cars in America. They were horribly built. They basically were all the same car with just different emblems on them, and all death traps. These guys who have moved to the 1% have realized what they need to do, how to take control of their customer and take control of their business, and not be told by anybody else, and have no problem with telling the customer, leave. I don't want to do your car. When you have that power to be able to tell a customer, I just don't want to do your car. It's not my type of repair to do. I don't want to do it. Listen, I had a guy come in, a very good friend of mine, that has a Eleanor copy car. And he paid a lot of money to get this car done. He kind of got screwed, and there's some cracks, and he wants one of my clients to do it. And, it's slow right now. It really is. Hey, why not take this? Nope, we don't want it. We don't do restorations like that. That's not our forte. We don't do that shit. We got techs who can do it, but we're not doing it. Okay? So I had to send him to my other client that's willing to do that, because he does do that sometimes. So, they don't change what they are. This is what it is. They total out car totals. Not my problem. That AMG GLC. I mean, it's brand spanking new, 800 miles on it. It's worth I think it just sold for $72,000. The guy bought it for. That's probably not going to total with a dash, carpets, front and rear, driver's seat and rear seat, center console. It'll all have to be changed, plus the bodywork and everything else. So that car has a lot of value because it's brand new. This car was a year old. It'd probably be a total. You know what Mid-Island would do? Bye. See you later. They don't have a problem with that. I mean, some of these shops act like getting a total loss is like losing a family member. What's wrong with you? There's no liability to total loss. Be happy. Be happy you totaled out the car. Well, I only made $800 with no liability. So what's the problem? I don't understand. Because you don't run your business the right way, you worry about totals because you think you have to fix everything, which gets back into that bad business model. There's certain jobs you just shouldn't fix, you shouldn't touch. And there's plenty of jobs like that. And I love going, like Mid-Island exclusive, K&M Collision, Providence Auto Body. You go into those shops, there's no Porsche, Corvette, Cadillac from the 60s or 70s sitting in the corner someplace that you're going to restore one day, like every other body shop has. Okay? It's never going to happen. Like, I've walked into shops like, you only have one lift in here. Yeah, well, you're 68 caddies on there. Yeah, I'm restoring it. It's been up there 30 years. Yeah, the lift probably doesn't even work anymore. Throw it out. It's worthless. What are you doing? Well, you have I told you get a lift. You say you have a lift, but you can't use it because it's frozen. And you got your piece of junk 68 Cadillac up there that no matter how much money you put into it, if it was in mint condition, original, it's only going to be worth 10 grand. But you're going to put 60 grand of work into it for what? for nothing. What are you doing? Well, they got their own personal little race car. What are you doing with that? Oh, I'm doing the nose on it. I'm going to do the motor over. Really? Just put it there? No, no, no. It's been there 3 years. Okay, you're never going to do it. Get rid of it. You walk through a shop and there's dust on anything, throw it out. That includes technicians. You got a tech that you walk by and you can wipe dust off him, throw him out. He's been standing there too long. I don't understand this whole concept of just piling shit in your shop. I want the shop clean, and I want cars in there for a certain amount of time, and then I want them to leave. I don't want a paperweight, because what happens is you find that Cadillac, that Corvette, that Porsche that's there, and guess what? There's tools, there's old frame equipment on top of it. It becomes another shelf to pile shit on. Get rid of it. Get it out of there. You're taking up a spot in the shop that could be used for work, make money. That's my idea, is to make money in a shop, and I need every available square inch of my shop to make money. I understand I'm going to lose some money in the office. The office has to look pretty. I might have to have a spot that one kid plays a week in a little, kids corner. I know I have to have 2 bathrooms. Both have to be handicapped available. I know I need to have a waiting room that, clients really don't have to wait in, but I don't want a small, tiny 1-chair waiting room. I need 5, 6 chairs. So I understand I'm going to have some more office space that's not going to be utilized perfectly great. But my shop area, I want to be able to use every square inch of that shop and have everything done the right way. I don't know why more shops don't have shelves. Some shops have these big, tall ceilings. They don't have a mezzanine anywhere to pile parts and put stuff that they can get off the floor and put it up in the air, okay, on a mezzanine. Put an elevator type system, a lift system, that you can put this stuff up on a second, level, so that it's out of the way, but you still have all the open air above you. That's just some bad designs I see what these guys do with shops. My favorite is they jam a spray booth either outside or on a portion of the shop that they got to drive the car outside and drive it in. Well, if you just turn the booth this way, yeah, well, I didn't think of that at the time. Okay, so who was the engineer or the architect that helped you build this freaking thing? Or you just have a bunch of idiot friends come by one weekend and say, "Hey guys, I bought this on eBay. You want to help me put this together?" What happened to you? And this is why you don't have efficiency in the shop. You're causing yourself more effort to get work done than if you did it this way. And that's where those 1%ers have gone. But they've added the OEM procedures, the proper equipment, the time to do the job the right way, the communications there. And listen, those shops have problems too. There's
Mm-hmm.
no perfect shop that stops all the nonsense. I can't tell you how many times. I mean, look, he's got this issue at Mid Island. He refuses to hire a porter half the time, because every porter becomes a car washer or a car detailer, and he doesn't want to do that. So they started doing this thing where each tech would have a week that they would have to clean the bathroom. They'd stop. The shop closes at 4:30, so they stop at 3:30 and clean the bathroom and dump the garbage. So there's Carmine one day cleaning the bathroom. I'm in there, relieving myself, and Bobby walks in and stands to the urinal next to me, and he goes, "The Carmine, the F are you doing in here?" He goes, "It's my turn to clean this week." He goes, "Oh, that's good." So we finish up, we wash our hands, we're walking out. I said, "Yeah, that's real ingenious." He goes, "Yeah, it's a good idea. Each one of the techs turns around." I said, "Yeah, he cost you $98 an hour to clean that friggin' bathroom, but you don't want to pay a guy $50 a day to come in here to give him a job that he can sweep up the bathroom." And he just looked at me. I said, "You're a rocket scientist." And a week later, it was no more swapping technicians around. Now he had a porter in the shop again. So they have their issues too. That they have some communication breakdowns, and there's going to be mistakes, but there's not mistakes in the car. The cars, have their checks and stuff like that. Sometimes something doesn't get scanned, or sometimes a molding isn't put on, or you get a rogue tech here or there that does something screwed up, doesn't tell somebody, and glue something together. You're gonna get that. But structurally, I've never seen an issue in the last 15 years. Some paint issues, or somebody put something together the wrong way, and we'll just buy another piece. That's it. Don't lie. Just tell us what's going on. So you're gonna see that at certain shops. But that's where they've gotten to. That the mistakes, their returns of or re-repair of their own vehicles, or comeback repair, are slim to none. The comebacks are basically, "Oh, my windshield washer fluid doesn't work." Well, did you put more fluid in? You were here a year ago for the repair. Oh, I got to put fluid in there. You put gas in your car? I mean,
Hmm.
so, stuff like that. Or, oh, well, you fixed my car and I got a noise coming out of the passenger side. Do you see that tumor that's in the side of your tire and the fact that your tire's bent? That's why you got that noise. You hit a pothole. Oh, that's what that was? All right. I mean, that's the comebacks you want. The stuff that somebody doesn't understand, not where you have oh wow, well the door won't open, or you open the door and the door panel's getting pulled off. This is where those checks and balances aren't. That's what these shops, because everyone's trying to rush cars out. These shops don't rush cars out. They gotten to the point now that yeah, when it's done, it's done. There is no rush. We're not rushing anything through. We'll take our time. That they get paid the right amount of money to buff and detail a car. It takes all day. It takes all day, and they charge for all day. That's just the way it is. That's what happens. You know, um,
I
that's where
get
those
it.
one percenters are. That's
It's
that's where they've come to. It's a lot of
it's
stuff to put together to get that thing working the right way.
no, I understand, and again, that's where I want our shop to be 100%. I think a few stuff that you mentioned, we kind of already cover it with customer service and all that, but still there's a lot of room to improve, especially on the OEM procedures and stuff like that. That again, I feel that is the only way that it should be, and we all should be in that direction. And that's kind of the message that one of the reasons why I wanted you here today, to put out that message, to reach out to people that doesn't know you, or and again, I wish my whole chain is involved on this, um, which again, eventually, I hope it is going to go in that direction. So Larry, I want to thank you again. It's been
Thanks for having me.
fantastic. We almost reached another hour.
It's all good, man. I got some time.
No, and I appreciate that. I know there's a lot of information out there that is free. I know there's a lot of well, I was calling you back. I was encouraging people to join the C20 groups, and that's how basically I find you guys, and it's been a tremendous change in perspective and everything. I've been in the collision hubs webinars every day since then. um, it's crazy the amount of information and everything that can change your mind and see the way that we're doing business. I had a quick meeting with my guys today, and they were like, well, but but if we say that, the adjuster will do this, and but if we total the car, what happened with it? I'm like, the bottom line is that you got to do the right thing, and you got to think
If
about
if the car totals, it totals, and when I want an insurance company adjust his opinion, I'll give it to him. Until then, I really don't care what he has to say. That's just my opinion. It doesn't affect my business. I've worked it out with my consumer. My consumer has a question. My customer, consumer, guest, whatever you want to call them. I'm the host. I got to make sure that my client is happy. I have to get over my clients. Probably the second most expensive thing they've ever purchased in their life, or in some people's cases, the most expensive thing they purchased, just got damaged. Some people are fanatical with their cars. Some people are just like, well, it is a car, but I just spent a lot of money. I want it right, and they want it to operate right. It is a machine. These cars are meant to be driven, 100,000 miles minimal before spark plugs or starters or anything really goes. The most you're gonna have to do is a battery and oil changes, brakes, tires. But these cars, provided they should last, and or until your first accident. Because remember, the car's built to keep you safe, not the longevity of being around. None of these things are going to be real classics. 30 years from now, people aren't going to drive around in a 2018 Dodge Durango RT because it's cool. You know, they're meant to, they're vehicles to keep us safe. They do look cool. They do say something about your personality in some cases. They're very fuel efficient and run great and stuff. But once again, it's really a safety item. It's so different to being in an airplane, and we need to take this more seriously. And just like in a doctor's office, I'm sure everyone out there has been to a doctor once or twice, and you had to sign a letter that says, well, if your insurance company doesn't pay, we're going to come after you. And they come after you. The insurance company decided they want to pay for that last sonogram, the third sonogram, and they're coming after you. It's like, well, we got you the price that we pay, but, the doctor's like, well, you got to pay us. Well, I ain't got the money. And they sent it to a collection agency. I don't want shops to get to that point. We're here to help you. I can't tell you how many clients Mid-Island sued because they said, yeah, we're going to help you sue the insurance. Oh, I don't want to do it anymore. All right, then we're going to sue you for the money. Now you put it back in their court. It's my money. I want that money back, and it's mine, and this is what happens. It's how a good business runs. And I work on something. I want to get paid for it. I want to get reimbursed for it. And you have to figure out your own labor rates. Very few shops know their actual cost of doing business, meaning what it costs you if you had to sit in your shop with your workers, make payroll, do everything. Make adjustments because the compressor may not be working as much, but average out your electric cost or your gas or your water costs not to work on a car. That's what it costs you per hour to operate, to be broke. So if that's $62 an hour to be broke, if you're working at $50 an hour, willing to collect $50 an hour, how are you ever going to make a profit on that? Well, I'm going to become busier. Well, no, you're still broke, but you're just busy but broke. You're just too busy to realize that you're losing money until you slow up and then money all catches up with you. So that's $62 just to be broke. But what does your technician cost you? Like I mentioned earlier, Carmine cost Mid-Island Collision $98 an hour to work there. Well, they're all salary. He got benefits. He has vacation. He has uniforms. He has a tool allowance. So your times is, hourly salary times, like a 2.4, I think is the factor. You come up with $98. There's probably 4 months out of the year Carmine's not even in the shop because he's out doing some sort of certification, training, having some sort of audit at the shop, or has to go online and take a class for one of the 6 or 7 OEMs that are real OEMs that he's certified through, that he actually has to do the testing for. And then add in whenever he has to do some Maaco training or something like that. So, he's probably out of the shop 4 months out of the year total. And that costs you money. You don't even calculate that into that $98 an hour of what the loss of revenue is while the guy's gone working on stuff. So shops don't realize what it costs them to operate per hour because most are not college graduates. Even if they are, they're probably not some sort of accountant. What I've seen a lot is the son or the daughter becomes a lawyer and either doesn't practice law and works for the shop but has a lot of knowledge. But a lawyer is not an accountant, not an actuary. So they don't know the math as well. So now, most of these guys never went to business school. They opened up a body shop because they didn't make it. They couldn't make college. They got out of the military and they wanted to open something, tinker around with cars and stuff years ago. A lot of
So
the kids went to college,
can you
and
yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Can you explain like briefly, like we have 5 minutes,
okay.
how do you back up with documentation your rates?
Well, it's like you do a budget for yourself. You got to talk to your accountant or your actuary and find out. And listen, Kristen and I have stuff when we consult for shops. We have stuff to help you out and figure it out to a certain extent. But basically, you got to figure out your overhead costs, what your employee costs are per hour, what benefits you give them. Once you calculate everything, you can find out what your turnkey price is. Then you can figure out what your labor rate should be to make a profit. And your accountant can easily tell you, well, it costs you $62.37 to run per hour. So we'll round it, to $63. Well, to turn a profit at 7-8%, well, you got to charge $72 an hour labor rate. If you don't collect $72 an hour labor rate, you're never making a profit. You're going to try and get so much work in, so until you actually figure out what the numbers are, then I can't tell you exactly what it should be. And I have tiered labor rates for different things, on my estimates and stuff. And I talk about that in my estimating class. Guys always ask me what's
Mhm.
non-certified. Non-certified is something that I don't have to really train the guy. Like the guy who washes a car or buffs a car, I usually have that at a lower labor rate. I don't need to have it at the higher labor rate. Painting, I don't have to have a higher labor rate because painting a Bentley Continental GT Coupe takes the same amount of knowledge and training as painting a 72 Duster. So I don't put a lot of money into the paint. So those are my two lower labor rates in the shop. My highest is my frame tech, more than mechanical, in my opinion.
So today, was the negotiation webinar, and so my question, I guess, is more like, how do you present that to the insurance, and what would be your, you know, uh, best negotiation or tip to back up, your labor rate?
Well, once again, we've had court cases on it. I don't negotiate with many insurance companies. I negotiate with the customer. I don't
Okay.
negotiate with the insurance company. I tell the insurance company what we're going to do. I don't really negotiate with them. I'm very much steadfast on what I do. The same thing when I do my right to appraisals. I'm pretty much, this is it. I'm not budging. I'm willing to go to court. I'm willing to fight all the way. I have the customer in my pocket. You want to play this game? You can either pay now for this, or you can pay in court and wind up paying more. It's your choice. Now I'll negotiate a little bit on labor rate. I'm not going from 150 an hour on aluminum down to $60. It's not happening. You might as well forget that. You want me to
Okay.
fluctuate? I'll fluctuate. I'll play a little bit. If you think something's, if I have something at 3-4 hours, which is the max I'll put a repair on, I won't put any more than that. But if I got something at 4 hours repair, and you think it's 3 hours, okay, we'll talk about it. You're gonna cut it down to two. I'm not playing that game. I don't play that cut in half. I write for what it actually takes, and I can explain it. Not where guys go, okay, well, I need three, so I'll ask for seven. He'll cut it down to four, maybe three. I'll still get my three that I'm looking for. If he goes down to four, all right, terrific. I get an extra hour. You know what I mean? I don't play that game. I don't play that chess game. I'm not one of those negotiators. I can back up everything I say and I do on a damage report. I don't play that game. A little bit different, but that's when you get to the A game. Kristen's right on some of the things you need to do now that she talked about in the negotiation class, which is kind of like why I don't go in that class. I'm a distraction to some people, and then people try to egg me on for some of the stories. And even Kristen sometimes will use me as a story that, well, you can't do this with Larry. I'd rather not be there on the negotiation post so that they don't have to use me as, you can't be Larry. You can't be one of Larry. You cannot Mid-Island Collision. You're not exclusive collision. And I try and teach people, actually, reality is you don't want to be those two guys, the narcissistic multimillionaires that can get away with doing this. Most of you guys can't. But these are the mistakes they made. Let's not make the same mistakes and plan it out better. That's what I try and teach people. They see the story, they see the lines. They see from last year, Mid-Island Collision sued an insurance company and won $120 an hour labor rate. The very next day after the decision came out, we're paying 50. You know what they turned around and said? And I don't blame them. Sue us. They're not going to pay the labor rate. It's not a law. You want a court case. Okay, good. We'll go to court again. Let's play the game. You got to be willing to do it, man. It's all in.
I got you. All right, Larry, that's what I want to hear. I didn't mean to, go into the stuff that, we got to pay for it, and
No,
and I think it's great that you guys have all this out there, and I think that it's fair to charge for all that. But I wanted to hear that we are in control. We should have the customer.
Hang on 1 second. Someone's put up there. Listen, let me clarify this. Mid-Island does not have an attorney on staff. It's an outside attorney, just like Exclusive has. They're not an attorney on staff. That's a lie if anyone's ever heard it. There is no attorney that's in Mid-Island's building at all. There's an injury attorney around the corner that rents a piece of property that has nothing to do with collision repair. He's an injury attorney that does slip and falls, doesn't even want car accidents, that guy, and a chiropractor that rent part of the building. But no, there is no attorney that's on staff. He has an attorney, does other cases. Matter of fact, I give that attorney to a lot of people in New York State because he is trained in that fashion. Just like I give that Steve Goldstein, James Makovich's, the Jersey attorney, I give to everybody because he's done so much work with Tony. But neither one has an in-staff, on-house, on-payroll attorney. Okay, I just want to clarify that. And I'm all going to come back anytime, man. You want to have me back another time? I got plenty of time for stuff. So let me know.
There's so much to talk, and and again,
have me back. I'll come back. I had fun.
Thank you so much, Larry.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.